good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining me from. This is Vicky from Yin Yoga. Welcome to my home. I've got some new socks, which is quite exciting. Yet perhaps you might notice that they are a little bit big for me. But anyway, that's my bit of excitement for the week that I wanted to share with you. I can see one person there, two people there. Hi, but I can't see who you are. Thank you for joining. Three people, great, fantastic. Maybe you don't know me, maybe you missed me introducing myself. This is Sevench, hi, and I think that's Fusel perhaps. Yes, if you don't know me, I'm Vicky from Yin Yoga, and today we're going to be doing a Yin Yoga session with a touch of Yang. So I'll just talk a bit about what Yin and Yang is, what I'm referring to as we go through, but seeing as this is a short session, then we're just going to dive straight into it. So if you want to start by lying face down on your mat or on the floor, merhaba Sevinch. We're going to start in Sphinx pose. So just go up on your elbows. Separate the legs a bit if you're feeling a pinching in the lower back. And then see what we want here is we want an opening in the front and we want a compression in the back, particularly in the lower back. So we want to feel, as always in all yin poses, not too much, not too little, but enough that we can stay in for around 3 minutes or so. So then just notice, is my lower back okay? Do I feel that compression? Am I okay to stay in that for a few minutes? Or do I want more? If you want more, then what you can do is you can put some kind of support underneath the elbows. If you're fine here, stay here. If this is too much, you can just actually go down, perhaps resting the head on the hands. If you want more, then you can put your elbows up on some kind of support, anything. I've got a block, but honestly, it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, so you can put the elbows up on a block or two and see how that feels. If it's still not enough compression, enough arch in the back for you, then you can go up on the hands into seal. So whichever is best for your body, that you can stay in for a few minutes, feeling that compression in the spine, then we're going to stay for around just under 3 minutes. So for me today, it's going to be on a support. Close your eyes. Hi, Helen. Close your eyes. And bring your attention to your back, to your lower back. Noticing where you're feeling that compression in the spine. So obviously bringing the vertebrae, the muscles, everything in the spine, spinal area closer together to encourage a different type of exercise. To encourage a different type of stress on the cells, to encourage them to be healthy and to work efficiently. Relax the muscles. This is an important part of yin. So yin and yang. Basically, if we look at the theory of yin and yang, which comes from China, the idea is that everything, us, everything around us, the universe and everything, I think I used that joke in the Yin Yang class, sorry if you were in that one as well. It's pretty bad. It's made up of opposites. Day, night, black, white, soft, hard, fast, slow, etc., etc., etc. And the idea is that these opposites are necessary. They need each other in order for everything to be in balance. And in order to understand something, we need the opposite. So if we didn't know what fast was, we wouldn't understand slow. We wouldn't appreciate summer if we didn't have winter. And with yin and yang, they are opposites, but it's all relative. So, for example, running you could say is yang and walking is yin. Yet crawling is more yin than walking. Therefore, in comparison, relatively, crawling is yin and walking is yang. So there's no absolutes. Everything is all relative. I'll continue with this in a minute. It is really interesting. I hope you're interested. So we're just going to, if you've got any support here, then just move it away. Slowly come down and then just lie on your front. You can let your head rest on the floor or you can let it rest on your hands. Just going into the rebound pose, bringing your attention again to the area we just stressed, which is the back, particularly the lower back, and noticing after that long, passive stress, compression, how does it feel? And it may very, very well feel fragile, as is often the case with yin yoga poses, where we're in them for a number of minutes, relaxing the muscles in order to get to that deeper tissue of the body. So if you feel fragile, if it feels tender, then don't worry about it at all. That's very normal and it will pass. But just bring your attention to that area for now. And then when you feel any sensations pass, you can just bend the knees and then just drop the knees to the left and to the right. So this, in comparison, as I was saying before, although it's not like a massively dynamic or active movement, what we're doing here, it is a yang movement in comparison to what we were doing before. So moving, active, dynamic, these are all qualities that are yang qualities. But then of course this movement that we're doing, it is quite gentle, so it's quite yin in that respect. But because it's moving in comparison to the Sphinx or the seal pose we were doing before, then it is yang. So again, all relative. And obviously if we start doing it faster, then that's more yang than if we're doing it slower. I hope you get where I'm coming from here. Okay, and then we're just going to bring the legs down, and then you can move up, maybe into a gentle child's pose. Your back may feel fragile, as I said. A gentle child's pose, just moving into a counter pose, the opposite direction, just for a moment. And then come up. Hi Andrea, I just saw you there. Hi everyone else who's there as well, who I haven't seen come up. Please do say hello, it's always nice. Hands and knees. Okay, let's just do again as a yang counter pose. Let's just do a couple of cat-cows before we move into the next pose, which is dragon. Just a couple of arching and curving the spine. Just a few. Okay, and then what we're going to do for dragon is you're going to bring the right foot between the hands. So, right foot And the socks are going to fall off between the hands. Now, if you like, you can use, if you've got blocks, you can use blocks here if you want to. Completely up to you. I'm going to use them because I've got them, so why not? Yeah, and it's a different, you know, it's just a different position, moving the body into a different position. Because my hip flexors are quite tight, and also my hips here personally, the shape of them means that I can't go particularly low in this pose. Then actually for me, these are handy. But I could do it with my hands on the floor, it'd just be a slightly different experience. So, with or without blocks, whatever you want. Let's keep the foot in the middle today. So often I will give you an option of moving the foot to the outside of the hands, but let's keep it in the middle today. What we want to feel is a stretch on the hip flexors of the back leg. If you're finding the knees digging into the floor, put something underneath the knee. If you feel that you're not getting enough stretch in those hip flexors, then just push that back leg further back. If it's too much, bring that back leg further forward. Yeah, so just play with that. For anybody who's really not feeling it in that back leg at all, then you might want to try perhaps bending the knee. You could even go up into perhaps, as long as it's fairly passive. It's not for me, that one. Then you could go up and go up into an upwards dragon, I suppose that would be. Okay, so we're going to be here again for around 3 minutes or so. So just try to be as comfortable as you can. Now the reason that I've chosen this one is that it is a yin pose because we're passive and we're resolving to stay still and relax the muscles, etc., etc. However, it does, for a lot of people, take a bit of an effort, which is yang. So that's why I've chosen this one. So effort is a yang quality. So we do want to try and resolve to be relaxed, passive, relax the muscles as much as we can. We'll never be able to completely relax the muscles. Yet you may feel that this is more yang, that you're making a bit more of an effort than you would in many other poses. That's why I've chosen this one. Close the eyes if that's comfortable. We're going to be here for around another 1.5 minutes or so. You can put the head wherever you want, you can drop it down, you can bring it up. And something else, if we're looking at the Yin Yang theory, that's important to remember. If you look at the symbol of Yin Yang, you'll see that there's a swirl between the white side, the Yin, and the black side, the Yang. And that shows that there's a constant interplay between these two opposing forces. Yin changing to Yang, changing to Yin, changing to Yang, constantly moving, constantly changing, constantly transitioning. And if you think about it, that is how everything is. Constant change all the time. Moving from Yin to Yang, to Yin to Yang. Which is what we're going to do now. We're going to move from this Yin pose into something more Yang. So if you just want to push back, staying up on that knee, yeah, and we're just going to stretch the back of the leg so you can go into kind of a runner's pose. So we're stretching, we're trying to stretch the back of that front leg as a counter pose. And to make it more yang, yeah, we can just maybe bounce a bit to stretch the back of that front leg. Movement, yang. But compared to jogging, for example, yin. Okay, so let's go to the other side. So hands and knees. Bring the left foot forward. And again, play with it. Put your hands up on something if you want. That can be quite helpful also if you're finding there's too much stretch in the hip flexor of the back leg. If it's too much, bring that back knee forward or bring the front foot back. That's another option. If you want more, take it back even further. You may feel this in the quads of the back leg as well. You may also feel this in the front leg somewhere as well. If you're using the blocks, you can use them on any height. It really doesn't matter as long as you're feeling the stretch in the hip flexors of the back leg. And then, as I said, you know, if you're not feeling it enough, still you can always bend the back leg. You could hold on. You don't need to go up, actually. You could just touch that back foot. That may give you more stretch. So we've got a bit more of a twist here, actually. Okay, so now we're going to stay for just under 3 minutes. So resolve to stay still, resolve to relax the muscles, but if at any point you feel you need to come out, then do. You can just move back into that runner's lunge as a counter pose, and then just move into a neutral position, sitting, lying, something neutral. Yin yoga can be quite challenging. We're not used to staying still. And our muscles can automatically tense up, our minds can wander. We're not used to this. So don't worry if these things happen, it's very normal. Just see if you can soften the body, if you can soften the mind. Then what you can do if your mind does wander is just bring it back to the physical. Notice those physical sensations in the body, the target areas. So that stretch in the back hip flexors, and maybe where you're feeling it in the front leg as well, if anywhere. So let's move back again, slowly, slowly. Again, you may be fragile, you may not be fragile. I am. And then stretch out that front leg. Feel that stretch on the back of the front leg, maybe moving, perhaps bouncing a little bit. Bit of yang within the yin. Folding. Noticing how that stretch intensifies when you fold down, even just a little bit. And then we're just going to come back up and we'll move into the next pose, which is called penguin, or penguin as my Dutch friend beautifully puts it. So this one, the target area is the backs of the shoulders and the upper back. So just sit. These socks are way too big. Sit with your feet on the floor and apart from each other, maybe a bit more than hip width apart to begin with. And then I want you to flex your wrists, bend your wrists, and then just put them somewhere on the rib cage. So next, bring the elbows onto the insides of the knees. Right, so this is going to be really different. Well, everything always is, but this is going to be really different for different people. So we're looking for, as I said, a stretch in the back of the shoulders and the upper back. So what we're doing here is we're making the legs yang. So we're actually being a bit active, a bit yang with the legs by pushing against the elbows. Yeah, not a lot, just a bit. So it may be you want to separate the legs even more. That's completely fine. It may be that you want to bring them closer together. That might work better for you. It may be that you want to have the feet out and the knees in as they're pushing against the elbows. Yeah, any of these positions is fine. You can bring the feet closer to you. You can take them further away. As long as what we've got is we're pushing, we're a bit active, we're a bit yang with the legs, pushing against the elbows, but our target area, the upper back, the backs of the shoulders and the backs of the arms as well actually, they are passive. Our target area should be passive. It should be yin. So play with the position of the feet. Play with the position of the legs. And you can also move the hands either further back, which will probably give you more stretch, or further forward, particularly if this isn't feeling good in the shoulders. Remember, we want to stretch. We can stay in for around just over 2 minutes. Not too much, not too little. We're never going in 100% in Yin Yoga, never. Nowhere near 100%. Because otherwise we would be activating the muscles. We'd be using the muscles. And we don't want that. We want to go somewhere we can stay, we feel a good stimulation in the target area, in this case a stretch in the back, the upper back part of the torso and arms. But we can stay. Okay. I'm going to shut up for the next minute, so just close your eyes and just feel that really nice stretch in the back part of the torso. So just take a couple more breaths in this pose, keeping those muscles relaxed. And then when you're ready, then you can just take that pressure off. Maybe feeling fragile. But that can be a really nice stretch if you feel tension in that area. And then just sit just for a moment before we move into Shavasana, in whatever position is comfortable, and just allow the arms, the shoulders, the wrists as well. I hope this is okay on your wrists, Helen. let me know if it didn't work, and I'll tell you an alternative. And just sit and see how the arms feel, the shoulders, the back. Rebound pose, so important. Probably the most important part of Yin Yoga. Feeling the effects. And then when you're ready, if you just want to move into your Shavasana, whatever that would be, you can move the wrists if you want to, maybe circling the wrists if they're feeling a bit like they need some yang. And then just move into your Shavasana, whatever that will be. So for most people, they like to lie on their backs. So by all means, please do that. You can lie on your front, you can lie on your side, or you can finish with a seated meditation, or just sitting with your eyes closed. So you choose. Just find your position. Close your eyes. And just allow yourself, just allow everything, just to release and relax. So in around 30 seconds or so, you're going to hear a bell. Wait until the last chime, the third chime. Wait until the sound has gone completely. And then start bringing some small movements into the body, stretching, small movements. And then very slowly, very gradually make your way back up to a seated position. And then when you're in a seated position, don't worry if you're not quite there yet, it's fine. Just close your eyes and see how you feel. Just for a few moments before you move on to the rest of the weekend. Hopefully you're feeling good in some way or another. And see if you can take that feeling into the rest of the weekend. Bring the arms out to the sides, up above the head, palms together, and then down in front of the face, the thumbs grazing the forehead, the nose, the lips and the chin, and then down to the heart. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. As always, I hope you enjoyed that Yin Yoga session. I will be, if you don't know already, I'm going to be changing the days and the times from next week. I'm sorry for anybody that it doesn't quite work for, but it's much better for me. And do remember that if you can't make the classes live, then you can always watch the videos, which are on Facebook and also my Uchele Yoga YouTube channel. So these Yin Yoga sessions will now be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. UK time. I decided to make them a little bit later so that in theory maybe people who are actually out at work in the UK, I'm talking about here at that time, might have a little bit more time to get back and do the session before dinner. So yeah, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. UK time. And then the Yin Yang yoga is going to be on Mondays at 12:30 lunchtime UK time. They will both be around 30 minutes. I'm going to try and keep them to 30 minutes. And then the Thursday session, online, longer Yin Yoga immersion will still be at the same time. Yes, Andrea, thank you very much. Have a great weekend too. Thank you, Giselle. I still don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you very much. Please let me know. Yeah, so I'm going to stop talking now. So I hope that you all have a fabulous weekend, and I do hope that you're going to be able to continue joining me on those days and times from next week. Thank you very much.